You think you're beautiful?
I think I'm good looking.
So do you think that there are people that are not beautiful around you?
No.
I don't believe you.
Do you think everyone around you is beautiful?
No.
My name's Rosie Nelson, I'm 23 and I'm an Australian model. I have this warped vision of myself where I still think that I'm overweight in terms of modelling, but then in the real world, I'm considered very, very skinny. When I came to London, I was asked by one particular agency to lose weight. So I went and lost weight and I went back to see them 4 months later and they said, we want you to lose more weight, we want you down to the bone. So they essentially wanted my bones to be sticking out of my body. And at that point, I already thought I looked too thin, I thought I looked sick, I wasn't feeling good about my body, I didn't feel happy, and I certainly didn't think I looked good. I was asked to speak on the radio. Immediately, I was contacted by a few different people saying, what's your story? We'd love to know more. And that's when I got in contact with change.org, the petition website. And then it just kind of snowballed from there. The public want to see healthier models. A little girl could think, I want to be that skinny, when the girl didn't look well.
Nicolas Winding Refn is one of the world's most notorious art house film directors, responsible for cult hits like Drive, Pusher, and Only God Forgives. His latest film, The Neon Demon, focuses on the fashion industry and the dark side of beauty. Being someone who knows a thing or two about this, Nick wanted to meet with me to hear my story and talk about the business of beauty in the modern world.
Hello, I'm Rosie. Nice to meet you.
I wasn't born beautiful, and I woke up one morning and I thought, I wonder what it would be like being born beautiful. I basically took a very standard, cliched approach of a girl coming to the big city.
I see 20 or 30 girls come in here every day from small towns with big dreams. Some girls crack under the pressure. You're going to be great.
What's interesting about beauty is that it's a very complex subject and it's a very shallow subject. Do you think you're beautiful?
I think I'm good looking. I wouldn't...
Do you feel good about saying that?
Not really.
Why not?
Because you don't want to come across as arrogant.
Why is that arrogant?
Because I'm speaking about myself highly. Because I've been told to lose weight so many times, I today still think that I am not skinny enough. Like, that's just the way the industry is. Like,
you feel that your beauty gives you advantages?
In some aspects, definitely not all of them.
No, but
in some ways.
Don't be apologetic. It's okay to say yes.
Yeah,
if you feel
in some ways.
Okay, let's see the walk, dear.
In the modelling industry, when you're constantly told you're so beautiful and you're constantly said, like, you're praised for your looks and your beauty, and you kind of lose yourself in a way. You don't always know where you stand with yourself. There was one particular model in Australia who was digitally famous. She was famous on Instagram, and she deleted her account because she was living a lie. She came out to say that she was incredibly unhappy. She would spend 2 hours a day taking a picture of herself in a bikini just to try to post it on Instagram so she could get paid for it. And she hated it, and she hated the way she looked and the way that she was doing that.
Well, it's interesting in that my children, which are younger than you, will live in a digital revolution where this artificial world, which is not about, let's say, the inner, but about what you see, is going to become a very factual reality.
How do you feel about how they'll be growing up into a world where the ideals of beauty are the way they are, and Instagram likes and popularity on the internet, that's the way forward of the generations that are happening now? Like, how do you feel about that?
Well, I think it's a very interesting world. I wish I would have grown up in it, because I think it has so much opportunities. I think it's very fascinating. And I think that one of the things that it celebrates is also singularity.
And how do you feel about, say, if your daughter wanted to look through a magazine and she pointed at an image of a girl who was incredibly thin, their bones were sticking out, and she said to you, like, Dad, I want to look like that. How would you feel about that? Because that is essentially what is happening.
I would say, please don't, because you're going to die. And then you would talk about the digital revolution, but the negative sides of it, which is all the artificialness that applies in this new reality.
Is that your real nose?
Yeah.
God, life is so unfair.
Gigi just got out of the body shop. She's still a little sensitive. You had work done?
You say that like it's a bad thing. Sweetie, plastics is just good grooming. Imagine going a year without brushing your teeth.
I was bullied when I was younger. I wasn't
So how do you feel now?
good in some ways and courageous that I got through it, but being surrounded by all the most beautiful people, you kind of learn that beauty definitely is on the inside in a lot of cases, because I could meet the most beautiful girl in the world or the most beautiful man in the world and he'll be rude or he'll be arrogant.
Oh, and all then the beauty goes away. I totally agree with that. I mean, I've met people that you think on one level is very, amazing, and then you spend 5 minutes with them and it all just disappears. See, I'm dyslexic, which means that my childhood was terrible because I didn't know how to read or write. In school, that's very degrading. And I was teased and laughed at, and I wasn't good at sports, so I didn't have a very good physique. I didn't get a girlfriend until I was 24, when I got famous. So I had all these weaknesses. But what I learned was when I accepted all these faults, I could turn them into strengths. And that made me a superhuman, because suddenly I was stronger than most quote-unquote normal people, and I would basically say, who the fuck wants to be normal then? You are essentially glad that you're born beautiful. You think that has given you an advantage in life.
Yeah.
High five.